People, we're back. I'm back. Where did I go? Nowhere. I've been right here the whole time. I think the last YouTube video I posted was like the race recap from the marathon. And then I filmed another YouTube video. It was like a mini little day in the life, but I got a mic. And then when I went to edit the video, the audio was awful. It sounded like crap.
Right, we're in the car. Quick release.
So I was like you could hear it, but I was like, this is annoying to me. No one's gonna sit here and listen to the whole video. So then I scrapped that, and then I just haven't touched the camera since. It's been a few weeks now. But it's time to pick the camera back up and hop back on this YouTube grind. Because I think ideally what would be nice with the social media stuff is to move into where like Instagram is more just pictures and the occasional reel, and then I guess just mainly daily doodles and stuff, and then have like the longer format stuff obviously be YouTube. Because right now I feel like I'm spending so much time on Instagram with reels and stuff like that, which isn't bad. That's what kind of grows your audience and stuff, and I'll still continue to do that. I'm not at a level to where I can kind of lay off the gas pedal on that stuff, even though I have been. But that would be ideal. Like that's kind of the ideal setup, because YouTube isn't really that hard to edit, at least with the way I do it. You can make it hard, surely, but not the way I do it. But yeah, the other thing is I haven't been filming as much reels. It's been nice to just do my workouts and not film every single one of them, because that's what I would do. It'd be like the part I would be dreading, I would be like, it wouldn't be the workout. It wouldn't be running 20 miles or sitting on the bike for 5 hours. It'd be like, shit, I gotta film everything. And then pulling out the camera all the time, which is fine. Like that's part of the process. That's just one of the parts of this gosh. That's just one of the parts of this process, is filming yourself and being in front of the camera and stuff. But I just kind of, I think I burned myself out a little bit. It's been nice to kind of chill a bit. And also just try to find like new ways to make reels, or just not have to post a reel every single day, which is still ideally, like I would still be doing that, because I would like to continue to push on the gas pedal in terms of growth. But yeah, I also want to pull out the camera. There's a few that over the few weeks there's been a bunch of shit I've been thinking about, but most recently, as of today, the daily doodle for tomorrow, it is surrender to the process, or surrender to the experience. There's a lot of different ways I can take that and explain that right now, but one of them is just, well, I guess I surrender to the experience, and then the other thing I was thinking about was I just enjoy looking for a challenge, not necessarily competition. So I was listening to a podcast with Rich Roll and Max Jolliffe. I know Rich Roll was like a swimmer. I don't really know what else he did. Maybe he used to be a lawyer, but he has that podcast. I'm sure a lot of people know about it. And then Max Jolliffe, ultra runner, BPN guy. But the Max guy was talking about the ultras and how he's like, I don't really care too much about the competition. A lot of people might say that, but he was like, I just like the challenge of it. I don't particularly care about the competition. And I was like, yeah. And I feel like I've always been that way. I've never really been a super competitive person. Sports growing up, I was never like, oh, I want to do better than you. Obviously, it feels good, right? If you're in a race and you beat someone, you're like, ha, I beat you. But in general, like that doesn't really scratch the itch for me. It's more just chasing things that are hard. Chasing that challenge that's fun. And that's kind of why I got into this, because I was like, this is a challenge, but I'm good at it. I'm like good at it, but I can get better if I just work harder at it. And that's what's fun about it, is just getting better. I don't particularly care to be competitive. I'll say that by saying like I also want to be good, but it's not in a way of like I want to be better than people. I just want to be the best that I can be. And I feel like I can be really good. I just have to keep working hard. And that is kind of my mindset with all this. So like with the Ironman stuff, I'm like, I don't really care to beat other people, especially like where I'm at now with my level. It's like I'm not competitive to go try to win a race or something like that. I can maybe be competitive to try to win my age group, but even still, like coming up in May, like I'm not going to qualify for Kona. I'm not going to win my age group. I could do that with time, give it another year. Then I would argue, yeah, I would definitely be competitive to do that. But we'll see how kind of how I feel about that. So then that's where the surrender to the experience came in. Because during the first Ironman, I literally, like when the swim started, I was like, I don't even care what happens. I was like, I don't even care if I get a 12 out. Because going into it, I was like, I want to try to go in the 10-hour mark. But I was like, I don't even care. I'm just going to do it. And if I get 13, 12 hours, that's fine. I'm just going to do what I know I can do. Like, I remember thinking that exact thing in the moment. Because a lot of that pressure to get a time just comes from social media and me wanting to look good on social media. But I was like, fuck that. I don't even care. Like, I literally was like, I don't care. I cared, but like I was like, I don't care. Like, I'm just going to do what I know I could do. Because I was confident in my abilities. And going on the bike, I wasn't tracking anything. Obviously, I wasn't tracking the swim. I turned my watch on for like 20 or 30 miles, like in the middle of it. But I wasn't looking at my watch. Obviously, I have no power data. I'm just pedaling. I was like, I did like 700 or 800-mile rides leading up to that one. I was like, I'm confident. The longest one I did was 115, so I went over the distance. I was like, I know what this feels like to a degree. Like, I know what I can push. I know I'm gonna be fucking tired at the end. My ass is gonna hurt. My neck's gonna be tired. My legs will be tired. But I was like, I know about what I can do, and I just did exactly that. And then going into the run, which is where I hold the most confidence, is with my running. I was like, oh, I'm ready. And then I remember starting out, I was like, I feel fucking great. Obviously, I should have started out slower, because then it's like, you blow up, but it's like, it's not blowing up because your heart rate's running at 190. It's like, your legs just, your muscles just can't take it. It's a very interesting feeling, sensation. And to like watch your heart rate being 140s, and then being like, oh, it's hard to go any faster though. But there's a bunch of little talking points right now that I want to jump off to, but I'm going to try to finish this first thought that I'm talking about right now. And I'm kind of losing it right now. Yeah, and just finishing that Ironman or whatever, and just, like, I got 10:30, which I didn't even really know what my time was until I finished. No shit, right? But, like, after I finished, I still didn't know, and then I was like, I don't think it was till I saw, like, my dad or whatever, who was like, 10:30 or whatever, said the time. I was like, whoa, oh, no way. Which was awesome. It was such a cool thing to be like, I just kind of surrendered to the experience, and the outcome was what it was. All that work I put in came to fruition. And honestly, if I had like another 2 weeks to relax, I probably would have done better, because I was still fatigued going into that race. I felt muted, which is why another reason why I'm excited going into this next one. But kind of what I've been thinking about going into this next Ironman is like, the goal is I want to qualify for Kona. I'm not going to do it in May unless something crazy, unless people said no. I think if I qualified third and the first two said no, or placed third in my age group and the two people ahead of me said no, then I could get it. But if I was fourth, it would go into a pool, to where then it's like, I don't know, there's a whole weird little thing they do. So I think being third and they say no is the only way I could do that. I'm not going to go out there and win that age group. 25 to 29 is my age group. Whoever wins it will probably do a low 9 or a high 8. I'm not capable of that. I'm hoping to go under 10 hours. So I'm hoping to go 940, 950, something. But we'll see. Again, I'm going to try to do exactly what I did last time and just surrender to the process. I'm going to have more data throughout the race this time. Like, I got power meter pedals. Pricey buy. But I'll have power meter pedals, and then they'll connect to my watch. I don't think I'm going to buy a bike computer, because I don't want to spend all the money on it. But But I'll see my power on the bike, and I'll know my target power is going into it. And then the run, I'll have my watch, and I'll have a more decisive plan. For the swim, it's like, how do you track the swim? You're in the water. That one really is just off feel, and that's fine with me. But yeah, and then what happens next is greatly determined by what happens in the Ironman. Like if I do a good time, like if I do that 9:40, 9:50 time, then maybe I'd be like, all right, I'll give it some more time. Like I'll keep going at this and try to qualify for Kona. I wouldn't do another race until I'm confident that I could go out there and be like, all right, I'm actually a threat to get that Kona slot in my age group. Which if that's the case, then maybe I would I'd have to talk to my coach. But like if he thinks, oh, if we put in this much time and you could do Ironman Panama City, Florida again, like if we go out there and he thinks, yeah, you would be competitive for it, then I would be like, fuck yeah, let's do it. I'm all in on it. Or I would be interested in doing like Ironman Texas, because that's like one of the first big Ironmans of like the season, and there's a lot of people out there, which it would definitely be more competitive. But I'm also thinking too with PCB that it would be less competitive because it's later in the year. Because one, people have done a bunch of races, so they're a little bit burned out. They're not as fresh. And then two, there's all the good people have already gotten their Kona slot, so they're gonna be like, whatever. And I think if I got the one, like say I could get it in PCB, then I don't think it would be until, it wouldn't be until 2027. Because I think Kona's in, like right around the same time as PCB is. Kona for 26. So then that would lock me into Ironman stuff for a whole nother year, a whole nother cycle, which is fine because then it'd be like, all right, you're going to the World Champ thing, and then that would be that extra boost of motivation. But right now, like if I go out there and I just don't do good or whatever, or like I'm 30th in my age group and I still did good, I don't know. I don't know if I'm willing to put in the time to get that good at triathlon. I feel very behind on my swimming. Like I'm a lot better at swimming, but compared to other people, I just feel very behind. I don't feel like I'm a good swimmer. I feel like I'm pretty strong on the bike, and I'm confident in my running. Just keep building my engine, and I'll be a better runner. I guess it's really just swimming. I don't know. It really depends on how it goes, because now I'm thinking like when I first started running, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I had no idea. Like I just started running again for the love of the game. I was in college. I ran in grade school and high school cross country and track. I quit cross country my senior year of high school. I quit track my sophomore year. I finished out the season, but like I didn't do it again. My senior year of cross country though, I did not finish that season. I did one meet and I quit. No regrets though. It was all intentional. I just wanted to get jacked. I didn't just quit because I was being lazy, and I think that's really important. Don't just quit because you don't feel like it. Quit because, well, just ideally you don't quit. But in that situation, it was like I'm quitting cross country with intention to give me more time to put that time into the gym. It wasn't like, oh, I want to stay home and play video games, or I want to just stay home and do nothing. No, I had intention behind my actions. And especially because I had to tell my parents, hey, I quit. They're going to be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But I'm like, hey, I'm dedicated to the craft in the gym. And they saw that. They knew that. So it wasn't like that big of a deal. Obviously, they're like, you quitter? But no, I'm not a quitter. Not a quitter. But nonetheless, when I first started running again in college, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I had no idea about anything. So I would just go out and run, like within a week, I would run like 1 or 2 miles on like a Monday, 1 or 2 miles on a Wednesday or Thursday. And then I would try to run 3 days during the week. Actually, no. Like when I first started, I would always go on really long Sunday walks. But there's this loop in Raleigh, North Carolina that was about 3 miles. And I would kind of like walk it. I could kind of jog it like super slow because it was the only run I was doing during the week, and I wasn't getting injured or anything doing that, and it was fine. And then it was like, oh, this is kind of fun, and I'm not like, my muscle's not melting away. So I was like, I can kind of do a little bit more of this. It's a fun way to do cardio because I'm getting outside. I love being outside. Um, and then that's where it would pick up to like one day during the week, then 2 days during the week. And I was trying to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, like 1 to 2 miles, and then Sunday be like a long run, which was like 3 miles, which is crazy to say. 3 miles was the long run because now I run 3 miles and I'm like, that's not shit. It ain't shit. But yeah, that was the plan. And I had no idea about like weekly mileage. I didn't know speed stuff. I didn't know threshold, tempo, lactate, all that stuff. I kind of do lactate threshold. Like I remember in high school we do lactate threshold workouts, but I had no idea what the fuck that meant. I just know that we called them that, and I was like, that's all I know. But I had no idea. The biggest thing was the weekly mileage, and the more is more. The more you input it, the better you get. Obviously, you have to be smart and not get injured and stuff, but I didn't know about any of that stuff. I didn't track anything. I literally just did it again because I loved it. It was fun for the love of the game. And then going into my first marathon, same thing. I just built out a marathon plan. Like I didn't even use ChatGPT. I was just looking up like a bunch of marathon plans online and like piecing mine together based off of like what I knew about me. I'm like, okay, again, not knowing anything about weekly mileage or anything like that. Because I would hear people talk about it. Once I got into my first marathon, I remember like I had heard about it periodically a couple times, like weekly mileage, but I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Like that's for pussies. And then they're like, build it up by a small percent each week or every other week. And I was like, that's for pussies. What the fuck does that mean? Like who needs that shit? Grow up and just run. That was my mindset because I was bringing in that meathead bodybuilder mentality of like just work hard, push hard every single time, and you'll get better. And to an extent, yes, that's true. You will get better, but you add in volume like training for an Ironman, you're going to dig yourself into a hole and you're going to get fucked over. And that's what I did for my first one. Not really fucked over, but this is not the proper way to train. But again, going into that first marathon, no idea what I was doing. I was just running. I was doing it for the love of the game. No, to this day, I don't know what I was doing weekly mileage wise. Could have been 10, could have been 30, could have been 100. It's definitely not 100. But I was just going out there and running, and I was so new to it that anything I was doing, I was going to get better. So that's kind of the benefit. It's like newbie gains. You get that in the gym, same thing with running. It's like newbie gains. There's a really big jump from here to here. There's a pretty big jump, and it's not like really that hard to get to a better fitness level when say you're at a 4-hour marathon fitness level to get to like a 3:30. It's really not that big of a jump when you're new to it. It's probably just a matter of like adding in 5 to 10 extra miles in a week and doing that for like a couple months, like 2-3 months, and you're probably past that. And that was kind of me. Like I ran 10 miles for my first time right when I moved to Tampa, Florida, which was, I guess that's going to be 2 years ago. 2 years ago that's like a year and a half ago, a year and 3/4 ago, not even 2 years ago, I ran 10 miles for the first time in my life. And now I've done like 5 or 6 fucking marathons and one of the Ironmans and all that shit. But, so I did that, and then, so that was in June, I ran 10 miles for my first time. And then in August, September, I started training for my first marathon. And that was in Raleigh, North Carolina. I ran a 3:34, which from the start of that like prep to the end, I mean, I remember going into it thinking like, I just want to try to break 4 hours. And everyone's like, oh, don't set a time for your first marathon, blah, 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 blah. Why not? Why not? But I was like, I'll just try to break 4 hours. So 3:34, I was pretty blown away with. I was like, holy crap. But again, it's like if I just knew something about something, I could have been that much better or done that much better. And then my second marathon I did literally 4 weeks later, and then went 10 minutes faster. So then I went 3:24. Again, 4 weeks later, because finishing the first one, I knew I had more in me, but Raleigh was a little bit hilly. So I did one here in Florida that was flat. 26 loops. It was a 1 mile loop. which was nice because it was really easy to visualize where you're at. So when you're coming towards the end, you're like 1 mile, one loop, two loops. I kind of liked it actually, weirdly. Don't know that I would do it again, but there's part of it that I liked about that. And then third marathon, tried to go under 3 hours. Still not knowing anything about weekly mileage. The big thing here is the weekly mileage. Just that alone, building up that aerobic base, and then just throwing in like one speed day is huge. Not even. Like you'll see these ultra runner dudes that are running 100-mile plus weeks. All like easy miles, just kind of easy, zone 3, zone 2. Zone 3 is like that gray zone where it's like easy, hard. Not hard, but like easy, tough. And then they'll go out and run a marathon. They'll do like 2 weeks of speed stuff, and they'll go out and run like a fucking 2:30 marathon. There's something to that aerobic base building that I never understood. That one, running slow was for pussies. Tracking your weekly mileage was stupid. And I just didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Those three things. Meathead mentality. I was like, oh, if I just go out and run, like work hard, like I'll just get it. I do think I was at a really good fitness level going into the third marathon because I did a 22-mile run, averaged to 650 per mile, which I should have just finished the marathon that day. Had I known it would have the marathon went the way it did, I would have just finished it then. Because that run, again, 22 miles, average 650. That's exactly spot on to like a 359 or 259 marathon. And then like it was like 2 or 3 weeks later was the race. Blew up at like 16, 17, 18, 19, whatever mile. It started to fall apart around like 16, 17 when my heart rate dropped because I ran out of carbs. But yeah, and then that marathon happened, and then the Ironman happened, and then my most recent marathon happened, and now I'm where I'm at now, sitting right here going into Jacksonville. So all that to say, holy shit, all that to say, if the Ironman stuff, like if I'm not close enough to getting into Kona within like trying to go to PCB and potentially get it, or like early next year trying to get it, I don't know that I want to continue doing Ironman triathlon. I really just want to lean into running. Like that's kind of what I'm feeling pulled to, but it's not every single day. Like today I was feeling it. I was like, I really just want to dive deep and just focus on running. Because now I feel like I have a recipe that I want to chase to get me really good. But I don't know. It depends on how the triathlon stuff goes. Because then, like tomorrow, I'm going to be like, no, I still really like it though. And I do really like it. I think it's fun. I think it's badass. I think it's awesome. I think there's a lot of cool things about triathlon and Ironmans in general. But at the same time, like I said, like I suck at swimming. And the thing with swimming is you don't get better at swimming like you get better at running. Running, it really is like input, you get better. Swimming's a little bit different. Like, yes, input, you get better, but it's so technical. And it's just like, fuck. I just don't know that I'm willing to put in that amount of time with swimming to get that good, to only still be like a mid-triathlete Ironman person. Because again, I'm not chasing competition. I'm not trying to go pro in anything. And I don't say that like going pro is easy, like, oh, I could just go pro. No, it'd be a really hard thing to do. It'd be a lot of massive commitment. And again, it's like, I don't even know if I'm willing to try to do that. I wouldn't necessarily be willing to do that, I don't think. Especially because triathlon just takes up, it's very greedy with your time. And I'm only doing like 16, 17, 18, 19-hour weeks, training weeks. Whereas like these pros, they're going up to 30 hours, 30-plus hour weeks. Like my coach will do like 34 hours in a week. That's insane. Obviously, it's different because when you're a pro, like you probably don't have a job. Your job is triathlon. You have sponsors. So like if you're training 30 hours in a week, that's less than a 40-hour week job, right? Simple math. But right now, I still have a fucking job. So 16, 17, 18 hours, 19 hours in a week, I argue that's a lot when you're still doing a normal job. So I'm working 4 to 5 days a week. getting to bed late. I don't know. It's just at the end of the day, it's a lot, um, and I love it. I love again, it's a challenge, and I love the challenge aspect of it. I like there's something about that grittiness, that friction that I do really like. It's not the competition. Like I love that, but I also want to be really good. Not to beat other people, but to be like just to get my true potential out. Um, so that's why I'm like I just feel like if I leaned into running, like I could be really good. Um, I truly believe that. And I don't feel like I've ever been able to do that because now that I've learned a lot more, I learned a lot during the first Ironman, and now that I've been working with Parker, I've learned a lot more. And the biggest takeaway I've learned from working with him really is to run slow, or not even just run slow, but to have those days when you're in that zone 2 heart rate zone. It is so important, and that's one of the things that again, like I just never did that until now, until January when I started working with him. I was like, all right, like I trust what he's doing. That's the other thing. Like I wasn't ready to have a coach going into my first Ironman because if he told me you need to run these miles and keep your heart rate in the 130s, like zone 2, whatever, zone 130s, 140s, I'd have been like I just wasn't ready to have a coach and to listen to someone like that or to put up or to let go of so much control, even though I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, to give up so much control to someone else over myself in that way. But now, again, like I learned and I am willing to do that. And I've learned that, wow, that's great. You get better. Your fitness gets better. Because I think I really just plateaued. After that marathon, my first 3-hour marathon attempt, I feel like I just plateaued. Like I don't really feel like I've gotten better. That marathon was in May and all the way up until January. So May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So 8 months, I just felt like I was stagnant in the same exact fitness level because all I would do is I'd go out and run hard, and then I was swimming and biking hard, and then recovering like shit. So I think I was, if anything, I was probably at a worse fitness level going into the Ironman than I was going into that marathon, just because like I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So now that I know a lot more, I don't know everything, but I've never been able to put all my eggs into the running basket. So now I feel like, not that I've missed out, but I just feel like I haven't been able to scratch that itch. Because I think if anything, like if I'm really going to do something and be good at it, it's not triathlon. Like I could be good, like decent at it. I would already argue that I'm decent at it just because of the time I've put into it. And not even that long, but just compared to the average person, yeah, like I am good in that sense. But like to like actually be good at something, running is the thing for me. And I just love the simplicity of it. So again, all this to say, after Jacksonville, that will be kind of the decider of what happens, because right now I'm still so back and forth with it, and I am more than willing to keep being resilient and keep pushing with all the stuff and swimming and biking and getting better at it, specifically with swimming. But yeah, and it's not scary, but it's a little bit scary to be like, oh, if I don't do Ironman stuff or triathlon after. Well, that's the thing. I'm not gonna do triathlon if it's not Ironman. I'm not gonna do Olympic distance shit. I'm not gonna do whatever. If I'm doing triathlon, it's Ironmans. That's it. Point blank. Period. Nothing else. If not that, then it's just running. I don't really care about anything else. I just love the absurdity of the Ironman, and it's just fucking hard. And not a lot of people. A lot of people can do it. Not a lot of people will do it, and I like that. It just, yeah. I love that. But yeah, it's a little bit scary to be like, oh, I would just give up all that progress I put in with swimming. So now it's still been just under a year I've been swimming consistently. I'm like, I would just kind of give that up. And with the bike, like I would just kind of give that up. like all that progress I've made. And that kind of scares me a little bit to be like, damn. It scares me and it doesn't hurt me, but it's kind of like, damn, would I do that? So that's one of the things I always think about too. Like, would I really do that? Would I really want to do that? And that would be one of the sacrifices, right? Like, with anything you want to chase come sacrifices. I've sacrificed a lot to be in the position I'm in right now, which is not my end-all be-all goal, but sacrificed a lot, left my old job into the... Yeah, just sacrificed a lot to be here. I'm not going to sit here and say everything, but yeah, it's... And that was what I would chalk that up as, is just you learned a lot, you got a lot better, you had a good experience in triathlon, but that's a sacrifice. You're just going to not give it up, because swimming is something, in biking, you can always come back to it. And I think when I'm older, swimming would be an awesome thing to come back to, because like everyone that swims is a lot of old people. And I could still do it when I'm just focusing on running, but I just wouldn't do it as much or as long. But yeah. But again, I'm talking like that's the answer. I don't really know yet. I really have to see how this Ironman goes. But yeah. I also like the idea as if I was just running, like I could go around and visit people more. Like I have family members. I have 4 other siblings. I have a twin sister. It'd be fun to like go visit people, and then I wouldn't have to worry about training because I could just run there. Here, whereas when I'm Ironman training, it's like, well, fuck, I can't bring my bike, at least not easily. And then I'll be like, well, where am I going to swim? I don't want to take a week off of swimming. Or I don't want to take a week off of this, that, the third. This would be like, well, I could just go there, get my run done, and then good to go. Or not even get the run done. I just wouldn't worry about getting it done because I'm like, I know I can just go run anywhere. So there's that. I like the freedom aspect of it too. Because right now it feels like I'm very much locked down in terms of like traveling. Not that I travel a lot anyways. I'm not really someone that really cares to do that much. Like I think it'd be cool to travel, but it's not something that really speaks to me. Like, oh, I want to go travel the world for the next year. It's not really my thing personally. But so I don't particularly care, but I like having the freedom to be like, oh, if I want to go here, like I don't have to worry about bringing my bike or worrying about where I can swim. I could just go there and be like, I'm going to go run 20 miles on these streets that are here, and no different than the streets that are where I'm at right now. So like, wouldn't be an issue. But yeah, this was going to be part of a whole YouTube video for this week, but I've talked for 32 minutes. So this is more of like a podcast kind of brain dump thing for me. So hopefully you found this interesting. This is kind of like an update thing. So hopefully if you were looking for an update, here is one. But it's 11 o'clock at night. Damn it. Get to bed. Hey, brush and flush. Have a great day. Get better today. If you listen this far, I love you. Follow along for the journey nonetheless, because it's going to be a journey, and we're going to be getting fucking... We're going to turn... I want to be an animal. I want to become undeniable. I just want to be like... just really fucking good. So... follow along for the journey.